The NFL just put a bow on its most active trade deadline ever. There were 5 major trades leading up to the deadline. It began slowly with the Bills sending defensive tackle Marcell Dareus to the Jaguars for a 6th-round pick in the 2018 draft. It picked up steam with the Seahawks landed left tackle Duane Brown for its beleaguered line, sending cornerback Jeremy Lane and a couple of picks to Houston. The trading action kicked into a higher gear on Monday night, with the Patriots finally waving goodbye to Jimmy Garoppolo. After holding on to him for as long as possible, the Patriots parted with their erstwhile backup, moving him to San Francisco for a 2018 second-round pick. The wheeling and dealing reached a crescendo on Tuesday when the Eagles acquired Jay Ajayi from the Dolphins for a 4th-round pick in next year's draft. Hours later, the Bills swung a deal for Kelvin Benjamin in exchange for their 3rd and 7th-round picks in the 2018 draft. On top of all that, in between news breaking on the Garoppolo and Ajayi trades, we learned that a U.S. District Court judge denied Ezekiel Elliott's request for a preliminary injunction, clearing the way for his 6-game suspension to begin. All that made for one of the most exciting non-game related 48-hour windows in recent memory in the fantasy football world. Here's a look at how the fantasy sands have shifted in light of this week's news. Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game suspension. We're back where we thought we were 3 weeks ago with Elliott and the Cowboys' backfield. This time, however, it appears this suspension will finally stand. Our Michael McCann has a look at what legal options still remain for Elliott, but it appears the Cowboys and his fantasy owners will be without him until Week 15. As it stands, there are 2 primary questions to answer in the fantasy world. First, what is the expected fantasy value of Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris? Second, what do Elliott owners do with the suspended running back? All we can say with certainty about Dallas's backfield for the time being is that McFadden and Morris will have roles. The latter has served as Elliott's backup this season, though that doesn't mean as much in Dallas as it does elsewhere. Elliott has 164 carries, 26 targets and 19 receptions this season. All other Cowboys running backs have 23 carries and 7 targets. Elliott's 83.8% snap rate is second to Levy and Bell among running backs. Being Elliott's backup has almost zero predictive value in the Cowboys' backfield. In fact, there are rumblings that McFadden has been inactive while Morris has been a lightly used backup because the team planned on the former being its primary back if Elliott's suspension ended up becoming a reality. The only way to guarantee McFadden would be healthy for a post-Elliott world is if he were on the sidelines until the suspension took effect. That mission, if it existed, has been accomplished. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones appeared on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Tuesday and said that Morris would get more carries with Elliott suspended, but that McFadden and Rod Smith, a third-year player out of Ohio State, would both have roles in the offense. Jones' words clearly carry weight, and this is the only concrete statement concerning playing time that we have at our disposal, but it's also different than Jason Garrett saying the same thing. Want more in-depth fantasy football analysis? Click here for a free 7-day trial with our partners at 4FOR4 Football, home of the most accurate fantasy football predictions since 2010. The main takeaway is that no back will dominate the workload in Dallas the way Elliott does. The bet here is that it will be a relatively even split between Morris and McFadden until and unless one of them runs away with the job. Smith will also mix in, mostly on passing downs. Elliott owners have 2 choices. They can either stash him on the bench or try to trade him. He's too good and still has too much value to drop. He will return in Week 15, the playoff semifinals in most fantasy leagues. If you're in a strong position in your league, say 6-2 or better, your best bet is likely just to bury him on your bench until he returns. If you're 5-3 or worse, you should reach out to the teams in your league that are likely to make the playoffs and get their best offers for Elliott. Make it known to all of them that it's not a matter of if you will trade Elliott, but what package will be good enough to secure his services. That's the best way to guarantee you see every possible offer. before making a move.